Hey, board gamers, BJ from Game Gumbo here, back with another episode of Gumbo Live. It's episode number 107, Gumbo Live, the #1 Facebook Live talk show dedicated to board gaming. Our special guest tonight, if we can get her, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties tonight. It's Julie Ahern of Greenbrier Games. We're going to be talking about their latest Kickstarter and also some spicy hot games that she's been playing. Board Game Gumbo, a proud member of Punchboard Media. Hey, check out some of our other fine members like Eric Yerko. What's Eric playing? It's a weekly review series. He reviews board games, tabletop games, and apps with a well-deserved reputation for amazing photography. Hit us up on social media, on Twitter or on Facebook at Board Game Gumbo, and we'll be looking for your questions in the chat. We don't have our guest yet, but I think I see Steve hanging out down there in the green room. Let me see if I can bring him up. There he is. Hey, Steve, what's up, man?
Hey, BJ. Fingers crossed this is going to sort itself out.
Oh, I really want to talk to Julie tonight. I got to play this game that we're going to be talking about, Tales of BarBEAria, and cool. I want to visit with you. But you and I got to play a game called Succulent. Let me see if I can bring up. I have a little picture of it.
While you're putting that up, I'm going to keep checking over on Facebook to make sure that folks are migrating to the right link and hopefully find us.
Yeah, and let me make sure I got my sound working there. Am I coming through all right?
You coming through just
good. Yeah, just making sure. All right, so yeah, get the people over in the chat to make sure they migrated over on us.
Christopher John's up. Thomas Grieve is in there. Hello, all.
Tell us the story. How did you and I come to play Succulent, which is a really cool game from Renegade Games by a designer you and I respect, J. Alex Krewe.
Yeah, Alex Kevern's actually fairly local to us here. He's in
I didn't know that.
New York, I think from where he works. How did we get together? Well, as usual, the answer was Alex.
Not Alex Kevern.
No, different Alex. Not Alex Kevern. Alex Goldsmith from the Duke's Dice. Alex has had Succulent up on Tabletopia. We played it on, right?
Tabletopia, yeah.
Tabletopia.
Oh, look, we got Julie coming in. Let me bring her in.
Bring her on.
Well, no, tell us a little bit quickly about the Succulent, and then we'll bring Julie on.
Sure. Succulent seemed like a nice mix, a little Frankenstein game of laying tiles on the table to cover up areas where you'll be getting resources, and you'll be trading those resources in to build up an engine to buy cards, kind of Splendor, kind of Century, Spice Road kind of style. Would you say? You're basically, redeeming those resources to buy those.
Yeah,
powers.
absolutely. Collecting those resources and getting a little tiny bit of engine building like Splendor.
That's a little bit of engine building, but the tile laying was what I thought was going to grab me for the game, and I did really enjoy that. The idea that you've got this expanding board, as you cover up the board, you're earning resources, but you're also earning these redeemable teardrops or drops of water, and then permanent ones. Here's on my pillow. And then permanent ones that kind of function like Splendor as a constant, always ready to be paid resource.
What was cool, though, it had two different ways to do it. You had the little ones that you would spend,
right,
and the big ones that you would keep, a la Splendor or Century Spice Roads.
Yep.
That was a cool little twist in my brain for that.
I enjoyed that.
I wonder if Julie's played it. She played Succulent. She says no. Okay. She says no. So yeah, Steve, Alex taught. I thought Alex did a good job of teaching this.
Alex, as always, does a great teach.
Yeah, and here's a picture of the board that you were talking about. So love the tiling aspect where you got the 1, 2s, and 3s.
Agreed.
The building board that comes out. I don't think you've played Cities Skylines, but it reminds me of Cities Skylines where you're expanding the board. We start with just that little middle board, and then I don't know about you, but you were probably doing a better job than me since you whooped me. But I was thinking in terms of, okay, which board am I going to open up? I want to make sure I have my flowers facing that board so that I can score those bonus points later, because every time you get a tile with your flower and somebody else abuts it, then you get those bonuses.
That was interesting because you were also profiting on somebody else's turn if you had laid your tiles in places that were very strategic.
Oh, love that.
Which I didn't. Alex did beautiful at that.
Yeah, he did.
I did not do that. And you were probably thinking a lot harder than I was about which areas to open up. I was mostly considering my bonus is laying out those 3s. If I can lay out those 3 tiles, I went hard on one tile strategy.
No, I was watching. You did the typical Euro strategy. You looked for cards, and you tried to make sure that your resources and stuff on your board matched up. Whereas usual, there's me playing all the different mechanics. Let me try out everything. I want to try and see if it all works. And then, of course, once I got all that done, I didn't score very many points, but
the Succulent Cylon.
I did try. Yeah, exactly. I did try all the mechanics. So that's now. By the way, these are pictures of courtesy from Renegade on their website. I can't remember the lady that took them, but these are absolutely gorgeous photos. The pictures I took, not so good because we played on Tabletopia. You and I both agreed that this game is a feast for the eyes, probably in person, not so much on Tabletopia.
I'm looking forward to the real copy being on my table. It did well on Tabletop and on Tabletopia. I don't do well on Tabletopia, so that was the knock. That's the issue.
So that is Succulent from J. Alex Kevern, and that is from Renegade Games, and it's out right now. Steve, I'm going to send you back to the green room because I want to bring Julie in, and then you and I will be there for the Game Toppers LLC Game of the Night, right? Okay,
right, let's bring it.
Yeah, Julie, we haven't got to talk to Julie about it. She's going to have to get ready for this game. That's going to be fun. All right, Steve, I'll see you soon. All right, BJ from Game Gumbo. I've got my guest coming in. Hopefully, there she is. Is it Julie? we had a little bit of technical difficulties. Let me just get your name set up there. But you are back in. Sound working?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Good.
Yeah.
You're working just fine. So welcome to the show, Julie. The way we start the show, always like to see with the guest. You're a publisher, you're a developer, you're a writer, so you know this question. Give us the elevator pitch. Who is Julie, and what is Greenbrier Games?
Well, let's start with Greenbrier Games is the creation of myself, Jeff, and Zach. We like to do horror-based themed games. Horror-based themed games is narrative-driven, sandboxy, and then is our one line. So you think Folklore,
Sure.
Grimslingers, Zepocalypse. And then our other line is our case in point right now, Tales of BarBEAria, cute but stabby. So lighter themed, but the horror comes in is with a lot of take that.
I've noticed, and I always like to do a little bit of research, and I noticed you have a super well-developed background in education.
Yes.
And I heard a rumor that when you started playing games, this doesn't go back to you being a teacher, of course, developing games for your kids. Steve, would you believe she tried to redesign, or maybe successfully redesigned, Candyland? Is that true?
That was my first redesign. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I've told that story. It's an anecdote I have. Yeah,
Tell us the story. How did that work?
Yeah. My sister was 3 and I was 5. So I was a veteran of 2 years of playing board games at that point.
Sure. The big veteran.
And we my family always played board games, always played cards, a lot of cards. And by the time she was of age to play Candyland, I told my parents that we had to redesign it. We had to, because I couldn't let her play it. It was just a terrible design. So they were like, well, what did you have in mind? Oh, precocious child of ours. And so it was like super simple, but it was, you got to draw 2 and select 1 card. So you had choice. So there was strategy, just a little. I just wanted a little something where it wasn't just, oh, look, I got the card that I was given and now I move and that's it. There's no, and so
do you remember the changes you made?
And they're just trying to not shove the cards in her mouth still, but.
Do you remember the changes you made?
Yeah, so it really was just a matter of having a selection of like a card hand selection, so that you weren't just picking a card and doing it. It was very simple. I was 5.
Hey, so Julie, this is a live.
I still have designs from the 8th grade that I made. A lot of very D&D inspired, more RPG dungeon crawl type games that I was doing. And all with like Greek mythology for some reason. I was really into Greek mythology in middle school.
I think we all were, man. I took Greek mythology in college.
Greek mythology, it's the way to go.
Dinosaurs, Greek mythology, and the solar system. I don't know why, but this is a live show, and some of the people, some of our regulars are here from the chat crew. Thomas is here saying hello.
Nice.
Christopher John checking in. Hey, if you guys have any questions, let us know for Julie about Greenbrier or about some of the games we'll be talking in. There's our Friday night friend, Jay Bell. Play a lot of Gateway and filler games with Jay. Everybody checking in. Verla's going to be coming in later. Verla is going to play one of the games with us. And since we didn't get to talk before, we'll explain the game. It's going to be very simple. So it'll be a nice, easy thing. So D&D and Greek mythology, Steve says. She's taking things right down my street. That's exactly right.
Yeah, so that's where I started, and it just I brought it into education. My master's thesis was how to incorporate board games into the classroom to be a better, more effective teacher, and that's why I got hired at the school I was hired at to start. They were like, "That sounds great. We want you to do that." So it wasn't just let me write about this in the abstract. They actually wanted designs to help for testing, and I made a big deal about writing about it, so I kind of had to put my money where
You had
my mouth
hey,
is,
let me
kind
show
of a
you this
thing.
dissertation,
So
right?
I started making games for education, and it was a hit. So I just kept going, and then by the time Greenbrier came around, I had been making kids games for years, and we did it for fun. We made it. Well, Jeff made a zombie apocalypse board game, and said, "Hey, I made this game. What do you think?" And everybody was like, "Yeah, you made a game." And I said, "Yeah, it's awful. This is terrible. Here's all the reasons." And he got real sad. And then being an engineer, he appreciated, you fixed the broken things. And he said, "Great. That was really mean, but can you do it again if I fix it?" And I said, "Yep." And that's where it all started.
So the good doctor is checking in, Dr. Steve Finn. I don't know if you played any of Dr. Finn's games, but he's always he comes by every once in a while and says hello. Hello, Dr. Finn. And we are looking forward to seeing some of those designs when they're coming out. He's got a Kickstarter coming up pretty soon. And of course, our friend Jambalaya checking in. What's up, Jeremy?
Hi, Jeremy.
He is so excited about Barbarians that he can barely contain himself. And I heard a rumor you two are going to be playing it live.
Yeah, on Thursday
night. So that's on the Man vs. Meeple channel. Make sure you check to see Julie absolutely whoop and destroy Jeremy Howard on Man vs. Meeple.
That's the goal.
Oh, I played with you, and we're going to talk about this. Yeah, she's a tough competitor. She's a tough competitor. So, BJ from More Game Gumbo, I've got my guest here, Julie from Greenbrier Games. You played a game that I have yet to play, although Helena was on the show, and I see it every once in a while at the game store, and I really want to try it because I think my kids would like it. Wreck Raiders. Tell me about
really
this game.
Good. So last year at Origins, was playing it I had like a half an hour where I didn't have to be at the booth, and Andrew Wolf wandered by and said, "Hey, you want to go play a game?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to play a game." So Andrew Wolf, who's worked at the OP and the Harry Potter card game, and I think now he's at, where is he now? Pokemon. So he's also a very busy person. We both had time, so we're like, we're going to go play a board game at a convention, which for us is a novelty. And we saw Helena
playing a game just for fun.
So she's like, "Yeah, I can get you started, but I can't leave my booth." So she got us started playing, and we're playing it. And as we're playing, I just remember sitting there going, "This is amazing. I'm going to pick up a copy as soon as we're done here." And Andrew said, "I got there were like 3 left when I bought this one." And I was like, "Finishing my turn, be right back." So it's feast for the eyes. It's beautiful to look at. We talked about dinosaurs and Greek mythology, but oceans is up there too. So you have that, true. And you have, it's one of those. It's definitely resource management and different pathways, and you can see all the different pathways of what you can do to make choices of what you're going to do to level up. The tricky part push your luck is that you're. Yeah, a little bit, because you're trying to fill those slots across, and if you don't fill them properly, you can either swing really high and get a lot of points if you're planning and placing them out correctly, and if the tiles that you get aren't really working for you, it can be trickier and you have to focus on other ways. But if you've selected that as a strategy, it's a little bit tougher. But super fun because. No, you know what happened? Something I did to myself. That was. I'm trying to be responsible, and I'm limiting my app times so that I don't obsess into the middle of the night on what's happening on Twitter and Facebook because of everything. Sure. We're not going to talk about what's happening in the outside world, but a lot, and I can't sleep at night. So I was like, I'm going to be responsible, and I'm going to turn it off so that I can, focus on my life. And it turned it off.
Oh no! And it actually turned it off, huh?
I've now ignored the limit for the duration of the evening.
The name Father said, she pushed her luck once too far. Yeah,
One too many times.
Incant gold.
My favorite part
Incant stop gold
was building the aquariums, which is one of the things you can do to gain points. And it's not the best way. It's absolutely not, but it's the coolest. So it's the compulsion to make these really pretty, and you've got all the symbols on the side, and they can stack and they can build and compound and everything to gain greater points. And I didn't care. I just wanted the pretty fish. And Andrew knows this about me. So he was definitely like, even in the first game, I lost miserably. Didn't care. It was so much fun.
And that is...
So yeah, that is one that I highly recommend.
And that is Rec Raiders from Kids Table. I think, didn't Josh actually design that one? Is that right?
And once again, the screen went blank for me.
Can you see me? Do you see us?
I saw Chai.
Are you hearing us whenever you go solo, or not at all?
No, so the picture goes blank and it goes silent every once in a while.
Wow, that is strange. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is solo. I am going to stop doing that because obviously that messes up with whatever connection you have. BJ Board Game Gumbo, I've got my guest here, Julie from Greenbrier Games, and we're talking about some spicy hot games that she's played recently, I hope. And one of those is Chai from Steeped Games, and you got a chance to play it.
I played it back. So I got the opportunity to play it when before it went to Kickstarter,
right?
Because somebody was doing a preview of it, and I happened to live with that person, so I get to play a lot of games that are going to Kickstarter before they get to go. And even then, back when it was like they sent it out they had actually bought little cups to send because they didn't have any manufacturer copies, and then they had these beautiful little bowl cups
and all the tiles.
Yeah,
I mean, it was actual. I was expecting like little things.
And it was so much fun. So I played with Robert and Daryl Andrews, who's another designer. So you've got a board game reviewer and a design. Like, it was the best possible, like, most magical. Get to sit down and play, and you're playing, and you're gonna make tea, and it's gonna be, and it's, of course, it's again much like Bears, beautiful but mean. Very take that. You're trying to, different paths, and I killed both of them, and it was great. So I really I love the tile placement. I love the sliding and the puzzly piece of that. I love the different ways that
I got so caught up in all the little pieces and the
little pieces, and you think it's going to be too intricate, but it's really not. It's a midweight game. It is not heavy at all. And super.
Yeah, I would say I wouldn't call it that midweight Euro. It was a little bit less than that, but it still had some pretty strategic decisions, which I like.
It leans to the lighter side, but it gives you enough of those choices that I don't know. I enjoyed the concept, like the story behind it of making tea. I enjoyed the visuals of it. I got the pacing of it. I guess maybe that was it. There's enough choices, but it's still light enough that you can actually be put off by how quickly it'll end. Because you start to think of, like, if you play heavy Euros more often, you start to think of the long game, and it's not that. So that I actually feel like you can get tripped up on. There is deep decision making, but it is still pretty light, so it goes quickly.
We're making him thirsty.
That was the experience I was getting.
We're making Steve thirsty. He says, "I need a cup of tea." He'll be right back.
Yeah.
One of the cool things what I liked about Chai. Now, I'll tell you, Thomas, I don't know a lot about the high tea expansion, so I can't talk about that. I only played the base game in that prototype form. But one of the things that I did like is, and hey, kudos to them. The production that they gave us was ready to play. So a person like me who really needs that visual, I like that kinetic energy from seeing all the real pieces moving around instead of blank scraps of white paper. But the artwork, it kind of reminded me of sort of like that Disney fairy tale look. Does that make sense? The Grimm's tales, that kind of storybook fantasy type thing. Not fantasy as in high fantasy. I'm talking about that.
No. Like the storybooks, like
the storybooks.
Right.
Like Sleeping Beauty.
But in truth, also, if you No, not you. I have hand-painted teacups that were my grandmother's that I inherited.
I do not have those.
Yeah, well, I started to say it and then
Exactly, Steve.
yeah. But they look like those teacups. So the other day I just moved and I'm in the middle of unpacking and I found the teacups and I went to put them down just, somewhere so that I didn't like crush them as I'm trying to put away my regular plates and bowls.
Sure.
And I look over and the chai box was right there. So I put them on top of it and took a picture and they look like they're part of the box. It's really I don't know. It's lovely. It makes me feel fancy.
An accessible. If somebody asked me, I'd say an accessible Euro, not quite midweight. Something that you could play with just about anybody, but that has this production quality with lots of colorful bits. It's going to look really good on the table.
And the designers are the nicest human beings.
I've never met them. Yeah, I'd like to see what that.
So nice.
I'd like to see what that expansion adds. If it kind of kicks it up a little notch or not. We'll have to find that out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. All right. BJ from More Game Gumbo. I've got my guest here, Julie from Greenbrier Games, and we're talking Spicy Hot Games. And one of the games I want to talk about is a game that she actually got to teach me. I get a text in the middle of the day from Jeremy, my good buddy Jeremy Howard says, "Do you want to play Tales of BarBEAria?" And I'm like, sure. Julie, tell us about this game. And it's out on Kickstarter right now.
It is live this morning. So Tales of BarBEAria is our first game in the Barbarian line was Barbarian Battlegrounds.
Sure.
And Barbarian Battlegrounds, I kind of have to start with it just to make the comparison, was much lighter. The dice roll, you roll your dice and those are your bears and you're allotting them to do different things. This one takes it up a level so that there is a little bit more strategy behind what you're doing. So you are rolling your dice out in the open. Your tribe of bears is, you are organizing them to get the greatest amount of glory.
Sure.
So you want to be renowned for being the best bears in all of BarBEAria. And so you're allotting them to different tasks in your village. You can either go out adventuring. There's a deck of cards. So those adventure things will have specific rule sets of, highest, lowest, and you're comparing your dice, whether you get the short-term items or long-term glory, risk reward for both. And then you brawl. Brawling is attacking players to your left or right. You are gathering resources, so there are 3 different resources. And then of those resources, you're spending them to level up, so there is an engine building element to it. The engine building can be getting more dice, getting specialists that are dedicating to generating more resources for you, but there are also different cards that will allow you to play a one and done, very take that type of mechanism.
Yes. Look, if you're going into this game, you got to understand, you got to like player interaction because there is a lot of it. Now, it's all short term.
Yeah.
It's not something where you build up this big giant castle and then somebody knocks it down and then you're like, oh, no. It's not like that at all. I don't mean there is a lot of take that and there's a lot of player interaction, but it's not knocking down sandcastles. It's more like you're taking a step forward and somebody cuts you out a little bit or makes you zig when you want it to zag, right, Julie? And I think that's what you're going for, those little short-term decisions, but it's going to be involved. What are the other players doing? At some points I was trying to get in the heads of you two, like, where's Julie going to go with those? What does she really want this to?
That's completely fair. And it's even more so when you start playing it a lot more often, indicative because now we were playing it in Tabletop Simulator, so we had the little hidden sections, but either way, you have a player screen. So when you're placing your bears, dice, at the different locations, you're trying to either psych out, like try to figure out what the other people are doing to react to it, or you're trying to push buttons to get them to do something so that you can react to it if you're playing an advanced game.
Right.
So it is absolutely player interaction.
The more you play this game, I could see where you're playing the player, not always the game, although you got to play the game, but you're also going to be playing the player a little bit. There's a game that we play called The Flow of History, and I've talked to some friends about it, and they're like, oh, yeah, we don't really see why you guys compare it to poker. I'm like, well, we play it differently. We play each other, not really the game. Right. We're looking to see. And it's the same way. Jeremy and I are both eyeing that spot, but we know if we don't go for that spot, maybe the other one's going to be free, right? Man, just slide that little tiny bear there and sneak in. So I did like that part. What I ignored to my detriment is you guys also added an extra level to it, and that's all the market at the top. So tell the chat crew about the market.
So yeah, the market so the market is the different ways that you are. It's a light engine building, but you're building your engine. So the market cards, you have three different types. You have your mercenaries, which you hire as a one and done. You get an extra dice for one turn and roll, or they might have a specific ability to do something. For example, I might pick up a card and say, okay, I'm going to get an extra die this turn and just use it right away.
Sure.
Or it might say, if you have a 5 or 6 and go adventuring, I can knock that one out. And I might keep that, especially if I'm only in the first couple rounds, and wait for somebody to do that and put a 1 out on an adventuring thing. And you're laughing at me and you put your 5 there and I'm like, oh no, sorry.
Oh no.
None for you. So it has that very take that. The fate deck is all about rolling dice manipulation, either re-rolling your whole hand like it's Yahtzee, changing a die to one specific number, or messing with somebody else's dice. And then the Empower deck takes the Guard Bear, which is one of the, if you look at the bottom right-ish corner, there's a little bear with a little like door-ish helmet. It turns a Guard Bear, which is purely defensive against oncoming attacks from other players, and turns that specific bear into, Achilles, where suddenly they are the captain of the guards, and they're going out and they're taking the fight out, and bulks them up and adds all these extra points. So you think that so you take 3 bears out on a rating against another player, and they're like, I've got 5, and you'd be like, actually I have 7.
Right.
So it's a very, again, like you said, it's a quick take that. It's not I built up this whole thing and now you're just ruining my plans for the last 5 turns. It's a haha, no, haha to you kind of a moment.
Now, one of the other things I thought that was really intriguing is you told me that, and I think it was you in development or maybe some other parts of the team had kind of played with the victory points. When you're looking at that scoreboard on the top, not the market board, the other board, there's that track that you have that is it Glory? Is that what it's called? Glory?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that you told me was a big change during the development of the game. How did that come about?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I really like the push and pull that we had as people would get ahead and come back. But how did that come about?
So in the first game, there's actually a much more visceral use. We have a stack of tokens that are your glory. Right. And in the first game, you had that stack and people could physically take your glory from you. And I liked that. I liked the look of betrayal as you took somebody's glory from them and put it in front of your own. But it wasn't very effective in the long run because people were very confused about when they could take glory, when they couldn't, and it made scoring a little bit confusing. So we wanted to make sure it was a clear thing. So, but we wanted to still have.
Are you okay? Julie? Uh-oh. Julie, we lost your sound there. Hey, Julie, we lost your sound. Can you hear us? Steve, are you hearing her? Yeah, Julie, we can't hear you on the sound. Hey, Julie. What if she can't hear us right now? So what about the chat crew? Can the chat crew hear you think? No? We can't hear you, Julie. Julie, did you mute your mic? Hey, Julie, are you back? Hey, Julie, can you hear us? Testing 1, 2, 3. Julie, can you hear us? Yeah, we can't hear you. Oh, we lost her. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out there. So, all right. So let me get you back in there, Julie. Here we go. Julie.
Yeah.
What?
Did you get all of that?
No, we saw your lips moving though. We didn't get to hear that.
Oh, okay, cool. Which part did you get until?
So we heard you talk about the development and what you wanted to do with the scoring, but the end result, with the Chat Krewe.
Okay, so I wanted to keep that visceral, but we didn't want to have the physical taking, but still keep that emotion. So the deal is, when you're playing, if you're choosing to attack, it's a risk reward situation. So defend is safe. You're not ever going to get points, but you're not going to lose points.
Sure.
But if you go out and attack and you successfully attack, you're going up the tracker. But if somebody successfully defends, then you have to go back down, because now their guards are standing on the wall and they're doing the,
ha ha ha,
haha, yeah. Your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberry,
right?
And pointing and laughing. So that's the somebody who constantly wants to just attack. Sure, but people are going to catch wise to that, and suddenly you're going to go from, I gained all these points, that feels really great, to I just lost all these points. Now I'm sad and everybody's laughing at me. So it still has that. It still had that high emotion, that high impact.
And it's
I
there on the board. You can't escape it. We're always looking at those markers. So I thought that was a brilliant move to really showcase that part, because it keeps people engaged in that part of the game.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So it's out on Kickstarter right now. This is in the universe of Barbarians. It's called Tales in the Barbarian Battlegrounds universe. It's Tales of BarBEAria. It seems to be a longer, more Euro-y, more mechanically not sound, but you know what I mean, a deeper type of a game.
It is a deeper so this, the first game is the one that you play with your kids.
Right.
And this one or your younger kids. And this one you play with your older kids, or just, with your friends once your kids go to bed.
21 days to go on the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And you have just in case people didn't hear it, you have the best tagline for this game.
Cute but stabby.
Cute but stabby. You can't beat that.
I can't even take credit for that.
Oh, no, I thought that was your line.
Jennifer, who loves my game, who demos at all my conventions, was like, come here and play this cute but stabby game. And she just kept shouting it at people, and they were like, I'm in. And I'm like, that's it.
Cute bears but stabby. Yeah. So Thomas has a question. He wants to know is the game competitive mode only, or are there other game modes?
No, this is a competitive game, although there is an expansion that is on the Kickstarter as well, the Candy Horde, which does offset it. It makes it more asymmetrical, where you are playing against a common foe. So you will...
Is that these zombie cards that I have up there? Okay.
Correct. The Zombears, which are like
the Zombears. Oh, I missed that. I can't believe I missed that, Steve. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. And then there are heroes. So in addition to... instead of going out adventuring on a location, now you're kind of be able to work towards fighting this common enemy, and you can also one of your bears can rise up, and it's a recruiting kind of mechanism, but you're building up or training this one bear to be your leader, your champion as well, which gets a special dice.
Steve, did you notice the name of the expansion? Candy boards. She can't get away from that Candyland thing she did when she was 3 years old. She's just
zombies. Apparently, that's my life.
Zombears and candies. I love it. Okay, so that is Tales of BarBEAria. You got another 21 days to go. Steve put up a link on the Kickstarter, so anybody wants to check it out. And it's pretty easy to find. So it's out there on Kickstarter. 21 days to go. Cute but stabby game. Check that out from Greenbrier Games. What's the price on that?
So you're getting for $40, you're getting the game, and then the expansion comes with it. And otherwise, it'll be $10 separate. Not
bad. Okay, hey, tell me something. Did I just miss something? Did Kickstarter start nesting comments today or recently? I've never seen that before.
No, it's been for the past year.
I don't know. Maybe it's just on. Maybe I look at it on my phone so much, and it doesn't nest on the phone. Maybe
it doesn't do it on the phone. You still have. Okay. So I always still at people so that because if you're scrolling on your phone,
Okay.
you don't.
And I normally look at Kickstarter on the phone, and I was checking out the Kickstarter page before the show, and I'm like, Julie is actually like commenting on people's posts. I mean, you are very active in the Kickstarter. Is that one of those things that you and Greenbrier Games, y'all take pride in, a lot of interaction with the backers?
Well, during the Kickstarter, absolutely. It depends. So like Folklore, Follow the Spire, which was last year, during the Kickstarter, absolutely. But I constantly am saying, go to our Facebook fan page, because that's really where I'm at. So I do updates after the Kickstarter is over, but I try to direct them towards the community page, because that's where you have a lot more community building, as opposed to just Kickstarter excitement and the immediacy of the purchasing and the stuff. The community page is a lot more about, the what's happening, how can I play, and also because it's a Facebook, you can tag me because I'm I'm one of the admins.
Oh.
So they summon me when they have a question, which they like to do, because
that seems to be the going thing. You get that Facebook community going, you get a lot of sharing, a lot of positive comments. What's on Kickstarter is not always so positive, unfortunately. You guys are getting a lot of positive comments.
Honestly, I get it though. You're on Kickstarter and you're in the place as a creative. You're in a place where you're starting to think about the possibilities of what could be. And so you're getting from the outside world what they think the possibilities could be. And it's really hard to get all excited about something, thinking about a possibility, and then be told, no, that's not the direction at all that we're going. So as long as you're empathetic towards that, I think people are respectful. If you start being like, well, that was a dumb idea, then yeah, of course, why am I spending money for you to be telling me that my dreams for your game are dumb? Like, it's okay. Like, I get it. It doesn't mean I'm going to do what you say or ask or suggest, but I can understand why you might think something's cool. Like, that's not a terrible thing.
But the paying of $1 so that you can boo people, I'm just not.
Well, there's that. There are people who do that. I am very, very lucky in that even with, there's always those people. There's always going to be those people. I don't know what it is, the mental desire to get your adrenaline from being antagonistic, but those people exist. I taught elementary school. They exist forever. They're always going to happen. So
by 4th grade, it's all over, though. They're all nice after that. It's just up to 3rd grade, right?
Sure.
No.
Let's go with that.
Right. Let's go with that. Right.
You've forgotten middle school completely.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Gotcha.
My wife taught middle school for a while. She's much happier.
But my point is, like, I have a community. So my Facebook community, obviously, they go and back when we do a folklore campaign. They back each campaign, and they're demanding because they're active and they're constantly talking, but they're also very supportive. So yes, they have these high expectations and want to know that, they've played this game dozens and dozens of times, and this is what it needs, and this is how it could be improved. But they also, if somebody's on there being a troll,
right,
they suffer no fools, and that's
true.
Wonderful. So if you're spending your time building a community and putting the effort in and being patient when they want certain things for your company that you don't necessarily want for your company, they're also going to invest that energy towards making sure that the trolls stay under the bridge. So,
So before we get to the game, BJ from More Game Gumbo, I've got my guest Julie from Greenbrier Games, and I can't let you go without asking something. Before we get to the game, and I got Steve here in the group ready to go. Folklore Follow the Spire expansion. Carlos in our game group is a backer of all things folklore, and he's just curious. How's it coming?
Carlos.
Oh yeah, he loves it.
Done the 22nd. Manufacturing is estimated to be finished the 22nd, and then we're shipping. Of course, freight shipping first, and then
super excited. So he sent me some of the pages of the book to look at. He's like, yeah, you got to do some show prep. And I was going through and I was like, wow, whoever did this game is obviously a child of the 80s or 90s, RPGs, choose your own adventure, thematic story, just going crazy with all those elements. I mean, it pops off the page. So And you've done a lot of the writing for it, isn't that right?
Well, so the core stories are done by Twin Fire, which is Will and Nick, and then all the accessory, the cards, I heavily edit as well, but
Nice.
the cards are me, and then all the supplemental stories are me as well. So they're the designers, and they do the core new stuff.
Well,
I
kudos
get
to you,
to
because
make all of
Carlos literally is recounting some of the stuff that he's done. And I mean, he can still vividly remember some of these choices that happen and some of the stories that happen in the campaign. So I'm going to have to try it. It looks really fun, and I can't wait to see what's coming.
You're absolutely welcome anytime.
Well, we've got another person coming in. We got Verla coming in. We are, this is a board game show, Julie.
Hey guys.
So we got Verla, we got Steve. This is a board game show. And one of the games that we play with some of our newer guests is we like to play something called the Envie Game. The Envie Game it's just a Cajun word for hankering or jonesing or something you really want to do. Well, we use it in this context for a game, a board game that you would, if we could stop the show right now, you didn't have to unpack all your stuff because you said you just moved, right? The game was ready to go, and you had the perfect playing partner and no other responsibilities. It could be a game you own now. It could be a game you used to own. It could be a game you've always wanted to play. Whatever game it is, you think of the game, but don't tell us. We're going to try to guess what that game is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You have a game in mind?
20 question style.
1 second. There's so many. Hold on.
You can only have just one medium. That's it.
I know. That's the hard part. Okay,
you can only have one. So what do you think, Verla? Tales of BarBEAria. Cute but stabby. Isn't that a cool tagline?
That's a great tagline.
Yep. Nailed it.
I loved it, man.
I love the art look in that. I love the art look of the game.
Steve, 3 words. That's classic. You ought to try doing that, name, Father.
Yeah, if I could only get my head around some words, I could do something sometime.
Get your word game going. Oh, Julie's working on it. She's thinking. All of her games are packed away, probably.
Oh, I think she's on the trail. I can see the gears.
She's typing it in.
No,
Don't tell us.
okay.
Don't tell us. Oh, she's thinking. And so, Verla, you have played Chai, or is that one you're looking at?
No, I actually got to play test it at Shucks and thought it was great. Could see the potential in it, and I mean, it was still in cardboard, paper bits form, and became part of the Chai community there on Facebook. And Dan and Connie that designed it are just fantastic. And as you know, I ended up getting to go to Essen last year, and I got to volunteer with them at their booth and help teach it. And
I didn't know that.
I didn't know you did it with them. I mean, I knew you went to Essen. I didn't realize you were demoing Chai.
I was demoing Chai with them, for all 4 days.
Really, you got the game? Or are you still thinking?
I do have the game. It was the first Kickstarter that I backed.
Does Julie have the game? You have the game in mind? Or are you still thinking?
I'm trying to. So it's very hard. I'm trying to.
All right,
think
you keep thinking it. We didn't get a chance to talk before the game, the show started. So you thinking. And Verla, have you tried the high tea expansion?
No, I have not. Don't have it in my hands yet.
And Steve, you are a tea drinker, correct?
Oh, yeah.
This is an iced chai right here.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't remember knowing that word before playing the game. I don't drink tea or coffee, so. Ugh.
As much as Verla might like it, I think she only talks about it half as much as Kelly does.
No.
Yeah, I think that's true. And I've played it far more.
Yep.
Mick says, we want chai. We want chai. Yeah.
Starla likes the cute, deep game.
Artwork is good. Oh, I think Julie's got something.
It's so beautiful.
Oh,
Ready?
Julie's got the game. Okay. So, Chat Krewe, just for crap, we're all competing against each other to try to guess Julie's game. Now, the 3 of us, Julie, are limited to about 20 questions, okay? Chat Krewe is going to hit you with a bunch of questions because they're trying to beat us. They're on a little bit of a lag, so they're behind us a little bit. But we always start with one question. Verla, you have a question ready to go?
Sure.
Okay.
Is it a cooperative game?
I'm going to guess no.
Me too.
Yes.
Oh, it is a cooperative game. Cool. Man, I was wrong
Really?
about that.
Okay.
That throws me off. We talked about stabby and cute and the whole time, and she throws a curveball at us.
Maybe we're all cooperating and stabbing the same person together. I mean,
Could be it. All right, Steve, what you got? You got a question for her?
Would you say it's relatively recent, say last 4 or 5 years? No.
No, not
Okay.
relatively recent. An older cooperative game. Is it is it board based or card based? You can say it's a hybrid if you want, but do you think it's more of a board game or more of a card game?
I'm gonna say board.
Oh, but I think that's a hint, Steve.
Okay.
She hesitated.
That feels like something.
She hesitated. I think she's going with the big bear on the glory point track. I think that's what she's doing.
Okay.
She's ignoring the bonuses. She wants that glory point. So I got to put my
to
big
you,
bear
Verla.
there. Verla, what
You got one, Verla?
Does it play more than 4 people?
Oh, that's a good question. Oh, it plays more than 4. Okay, so Thomas said Pandemic Season 1. Nope.
2 weeks.
That's a 4, and that's a 4-player game, and and pretty recent too. All right, back to you, Steve.
Does it have a possible hidden traitor in it?
Ooh,
No.
There's no BJ in it. No, okay.
No,
All
you're
right,
not hidden. You're not hidden, BJ.
All right, to recap, it's a cooperative game, not within the last 5 years. It's got a board, and what was the other one?
Entirely cooperative.
Entirely cooperative.
Jay's asking strong theme.
Is it thematic? Really thematic
Yes.
game?
Really
Okay, my
thematic game.
question, is it from an actual IP? Something we would recognize?
Yes.
Okay.
That's another hesitation, Steve.
Tweener.
Tweener. Yeah, that's
So
a
I'm wondering
tweener.
if that means perhaps.
Mick wants to know, is it an American designer? Good question, Mick. I like it.
Mick.
Put her on the spot.
Oh, the designer.
Oh, Steve, she
I
doesn't know the
publisher.
designer right off the
I'm
bat.
not sure about the designer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Possible fantasy
think
flight
so.
game there.
I think so. It's an American publisher.
Oh, it's an American publisher. Possibly fantasy flight. I'm starting to lean that way. All right. Thomas wants to know, does it have a Cthulhu as its theme?
No.
Oh, dang it! I was diving in toward the old.
Although, if you're going that route, I know what games those are, and I would play any of those any day.
Yeah, I was thinking the mission, the Mansions of Madness type thing, Elder Signs type thing. Okay. Back to Verla. You got a question, Verla?
Does it have?
I know Richard Lanius. If it was coming to Cthulhu, let's put it. that way.
Yeah. Okay. So we can rule out Richard Lanius, right? Oh, maybe not. Oh.
I'm not going to give you that. Is that one of your official questions?
That's not
one of your official questions.
All right, what you got, Verla? You got a question?
I was going to ask if it was fantasy themed.
That's a good question.
Yes.
It is a fantasy theme. Okay.
Is it Defenders of the Realm?
No.
All right. So, Chat Krewe, we got a cooperative game with a boardish. Did not come out recently.
Man, I did good. I picked.
Oh yeah,
good.
you're stumping the Chat Krewe here. You're stumping. Oh, Mick wants to know: can you play it solo? Ooh, I like it.
That's a good question.
Yes.
And you can,
Okay.
Mick. Thomas says,
no. I mean, it's not recommended. It's not part of on the box.
not on the box.
So no, I should say no.
2 to 4
That was
player
just
game.
Someone may have done. Oh, that's interesting. But I wonder what the IP, because the IP hesitation makes me wonder. Are we talking about a fantasy? It's not Lord of the Rings themed, is it?
No.
No.
And yet
Thomas wants to know if it's got minis.
Yes.
It does.
Yes,
have
for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
all those.
Kelly's asking if it's a one-word title.
No.
Okay, so it's not the center any one of those things. Could it be one of those D&D games like Wrath of Shadowrun or Legend of Drizzt? Does it have a vampire for theme?
No.
It's not Ravenloft. All right. Oh.
I like what you're thinking there with the D&D being the kind of IP. That's
that's why she hesitated. Oh, Yeah, Bob, Tiny Epic Quest came out Gen Con 50. So that is, remember Gen Con, that convention that we used to go to years ago? And hopefully it'll happen someday. So I'm gonna guess your answer is no, it's not Tiny Epic Quest. But that's a good guess because it kind of fits where she's going. Thomas says his wife is guessing Conan the Barbarian.
No, but that's warmer.
That's warmer.
Well, I know she's not going John Carter Mars because there is no good game with John Carter Mars. We need one. They don't have one yet. Jesse, that's going to be sci-fi. So Firefly, no, but a great, great guess. Darkest Night, says Dan. I haven't played Darkest Night, so I don't know anything about that one. No.
No.
Jay wants to know if it's got zombies.
It does not have zombies, although that also would be a good guess since there was a time period there where that was all I played.
That's all you played, right? Wow. She is really... No, it's not a one-word title, Mick, so I don't think it's Descent, right? It's not Descent 2.0. No.
It's not Descent or
that might have been where Kelly was going with that.
Technically is 2 words.
Yeah. Would that be 4 words, though? Descent 2.0?
Point and O?
I don't know.
Could be. Wow, you are stumping the checker. They're barely even guessing right now. Julie, you're winning this big time. Is anybody?
What do I win? Do I get a copy of this game, which is totally out of print and I can't find it anymore?
Out of print. Out of print is helpful.
Out of print.
Some people.
It's my Grail game. This is I had to make sure that I was
okay. No one says Wrathful Shadowland. It's her Grail game. No one says that, Steve. So it's a good game, but it's not a Grail game. So it's got to be something else.
Sword and Sorcery.
Sword and Sorcery.
No.
Wizwar? Wizwar? No, not Wizwar. Because that's out of. It's not Talisman. Because that's back in print.
That's one word.
Yeah.
And that's great, but that wasn't it.
Sword and... Oh, no, Adam already asked that. There was a question that we didn't ask. Does it have a campaign element to it?
That's a good question.
Mick is saying Happy Pigs.
Yeah.
Nicely done, Mick. Nice and good callback.
Well played.
It kind of does. It doesn't. Yeah.
Not quite campaign, but it feels like it has something continuing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Melissa. So I'll give you a recap here. It's a cooperative game, American designer, very thematic, did not come out in the last 5 years, not in print anymore. It's got minis. It's got a fantasy-ish theme based sort of on an IP. She was kind of giving us a hint with that, I think. It's not Descent or any one of those, and it's not a one-word title. Did I miss anything? Oh, it's got minis.
Yeah. And board more than card.
Board more than card. It's board-ish. Board-ish. And
I thought Hero Quest when Jesse was saying that, but that's
it has a board and a cards, but it's not. That's not the focus either way.
Mage Knight is cooperative, and you can play it solo. Is Bob right?
It isn't Mage Knight.
It isn't.
No,
it's not.
You should be able to get.
Not Hero Quest either, right?
God,
when you said Conan and Tarzan and stuff like that, I wonder if this is like a something that is an IP that we'd recognize, but is no longer licensed, is now in public domain.
Yeah, Clank is not 5 years.
And you can still get points.
Shadows over Camelot is there's no traitor in it though, right?
That was the one I was thinking about with the traitor question.
That would have been a good one. I don't know Doom. Yeah, somebody checked on Defender of the Realm already.
Defenders too. Yeah.
I don't know Doom Troopers. Does anybody know that game? I don't know that one.
No.
Jesse, you got me on that one.
I have not heard of Doom Troopers.
Was it on Kickstarter?
Julie, you know that one?
Was it on Kickstarter?
I don't remember. It was before I was on Kickstarter, if it was.
Okay. We know it's not recent, but we don't know how far back.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
She says it's out of print, and it's a tough one. God, we're like right there. Let me think.
Was this presumably not if it's out of print? Was this an award winner of any sort?
Yeah, we tried that, Joel. We tried Shadows of Camelot. And by the way, what's up, Joel? Good to hear from you, man. Get some rest, Joel. Get some rest.
I don't know.
Well, get some rest. It's like it's lunchtime for them now.
Yeah, but that dude's working hard in those hospitals, man.
He definitely is. That is true.
Thank you for your service.
I don't remember it. I don't remember if it won any awards or not.
Okay.
Mick said his head is hurting. We're killing him.
I'm sorry.
Ah.
Except that I'm not.
And she keeps saying it's not really a campaign. So why do I keep coming back to all those D&D games, man?
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like that.
No traitor in the game. We did. That was a question early on.
Can you level up your character in the game?
Yeah.
No, Adam, there is no traitor in the game. No traitor in the game.
Let's keep thinking. We'll just do a quick recap here. Older than 4 or 5 years, fully co-op, fantasy, Grail game, out of print, boards and cards, but not really saying it's one or the other, has some kind of continuing theme to it that runs through campaignish, fantasy, and IP, kind of.
Castle Panic. That is it. It's got to be Castle Panic. No?
Not it.
That's not it? Oh, it is it.
Sorry, we're traveling because my card isn't charging fast enough, and I'm losing battery power, and my phone's about to die.
Okay. Is Bob right?
Put Thomas and
Say again.
Is Bob right? Is it Castle Panic? It's got to be Castle Panic. Oh, it's not Castle Panic.
If we put Dan and Thomas together, we would have Legends of Candylandor.
Legends of Andor. That's a good choice. Legends of Andor.
No.
Hey, so if we took Coimbra and while we were playing it, one of us had a secret objective that could win all by themselves, would that be traitoring in the Mediterranean?
That's terrible, and I loved it.
You make me regret so much, BJ.
If I won?
I think
I feel like everybody's gotten more than 20 questions.
Chat Krewe, I'm calling it. I'm giving Julie the big win. All right.
Does she have a magic hint?
What is it? Oh, do you have one more hint? A hint that would get it for us. If
Aladdin.
Tales of Arabian Nights? Oh wow!
Really?
You know, we should have thought of that. She's a story.
We should have been. She's right with Aladdin. It is a theme that you'd recognize, but
it's
not
IP,
owned.
It's cooperative. It's story based. It's right up your alley.
We never asked about storytelling. Well, I'm
sorry. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Make traitoring in the Mediterranean. Somebody's got to do that game. Julie, that was a lot of fun. Verla and Steve, I'm going to send you guys back down so that I can get the closing out. That was a lot of fun, Julie. We're gonna close out the show and get rid of Steve and Verla. Whoa! Okay,
got rid of Julie.
Well, you
got rid of the wrong person.
You moved on my screen, so I lost Julie. Sorry. There we go. So, Julie, that was a lot of fun. Oh wow, what a great game! That was one we should have thought of, and you got us really.
I'm really excited about that. The competitive nature in me was very happy about winning that.
You won.
Game that's a co-op that I like to play.
And that is how you play the game of the Envie Game. And I know we didn't get a chance to talk before. You did fantastic with coming up with a great game. You had the chat crew going. So, all right, board gamers, that's it for another episode of Gumbo Live. I want to thank Game Toppers LLC. Make your game nights a showstopper when you play on a Game Topper for sponsoring our little game here of the Envie Game. Julie, how can people reach you if they have some questions about Tales of BarBEAria or anything to do with Greenbrier games?
Well, so we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, Instagram, and it's Greenbrier, BRIER Games, and of course, greenbriergames.com.
Sure. Make sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/BoardGameGumbo. It helps us to get the word out about all of our upcoming shows, including next week when we got Dean and John from Meepletown podcast that have been coming up. Jeremy Howard's going to be coming in a couple of weeks. He's going to give us a post-Origins online wrap-up, so we're looking forward to that. Julie, we're gonna close out the show. I'll send you to the green room so Steve and Verla can visit with you. I am BJ from Game Gumbo, and until next time, Julie, laissez le bon temps rouler.